All right, so far we've talked about moles of things, but if we think back to our mole chapter, we can't actually count out a mole. That would be super impractical. The way we count out moles is through different measurements, right? We either weigh a mass or something like that, right? So what we've done so far is we've gone moles of A to moles of B, right? And then we've used the stoichiometric coefficients, our balanced chemical equation to get from point A to point B. But then, of course, our question is, how do you get X moles of something? Right? We said you can't weigh it, you have to, or you can't count them, you have to weigh them or something else, right? It depends on which form it is. So here's this little graphic from your OpenStax textbook that kind of does a good job. So in the center, we see that we have moles of A to moles of B, and that's what we've learned in this lecture. And how we get from one point to the other is the stoichiometric factor or the stoichiometric coefficient, or from our balanced chemical equation. It's all saying the same thing. But we never actually count out physically the moles of something. Most commonly used is the mass of a compound, right? And we can go from mass to moles to molar mass, or we can use density, we can use volume of solution, we can use number of particles, right? So we can get from all of these trees to other stuff just using stuff that we've already learned. So our general kind of trend that we're going to do in this part right here on stoichiometry in general is the first step is get to moles of A. Right, so that's our first step, right? Whatever you have, however much of you have, whatever form you have, get to how many moles of it you have or need or whatever. And then after that, you're going to use your stoichiometric coefficient to get to your moles of B, right? So after you have your moles of A, you can then figure out your moles of B. And then after that, you're going to turn moles of A into what, or moles of B, my bad, into whatever you need. So most oftentimes it's a mass, right? You need to weigh out this many grams of something, but sometimes it comes in a solution, so you need this many milliliters, or it's a liquid, so you need this many milliliters, that kind of thing. But either way, first step is get to moles of A, use your stoichiometric coefficients to get to moles of B, and then convert moles of B to whatever you need.